You're watching convention coverage on site.
Absolutely fabulous, fabulous cosplayers here, and I'll let them introduce themselves and tell them a little bit about themselves. Jackie, you want to go first?
Yes, of course. Hello, I'm Jacqueline Goehner. I'm a very long-time cosplayer from, oh boy, the early 2000s. And I am best known for Witchblade, Red Sonja, Princess Zelda, who else? Deja Thors, Vampirella, all the fun-loving characters that we know and love. And I make everything, although this is, this I didn't make, because at conventions it's nice to be comfortable too. So mirrors are very, yes, applaud for that, because comfort is very, very amazing, and as you get older it becomes very essential. But I make props, I make my costumes. In fact, tomorrow will be Ariel from Little Mermaid that I made in literally 13 hours. So that's tomorrow though.
Awesome, awesome. And Kitty?
Hi guys, my name is Kitty Kaboom. I mostly do anime and fighting game cosplays. I work in the esports world and the FGC. That's pretty much stands for the fighting game community. So you see me at a lot of fighting game tournaments, esport tournaments and events. I am a professional cosplayer. I work with Red Bull, Capcom, and currently with SNK as one of their cosplay models. Before last year, I was really fortunate to go to Japan and cosplay for them at their booth at one of the biggest fighting game tournaments in the world called EVO, and they have one in Las Vegas and they had one in Japan in January. So right as I was flying back home, we got news of all the scariness. So I have been waiting very, very long, just as much as you guys, to get back to conventions. I started cosplaying in 2001, and through my fighting game cosplays and my martial arts, I did get recognized and had a lot more opportunities to actually work in the film industry in Hollywood, where I took up stunt acting and fight choreographies. So hello.
Awesome. See, cosplay, it opens doors all around.
It does. Many opportunities, very much so.
I didn't know we were mentioning our
Put a short
stuff.
check.
I'm just saying, I was like, I'm just talking about my cosplay career. Like, I also costume design, and anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Her costume designs are amazing. Follow her online, find her. It's amazing. Her pictures are gorgeous. So, ladies, do we have day jobs?
This is what I do full time, but I also own a cosmetics company where we make special effects adhesive. I also costume design professionally for film and television. I've done reality shows, TV shows, film, the whole works. And then of course I also do commissions for people who want cosplay costumes, or most significantly Halloween costumes. Holy cow. Yeah.
So your busy season has already started, right?
Busy season has already started. I'm almost completely booked up. But for Halloween, I mostly deal with celebrities. Like last year, I made Logan Paul and his girlfriend, Lincoln Zelda. Year before, I did, who was it?
They're so important. She cannot mention them.
It makes me mad that I don't want to waste time trying to remember somebody, but yeah, somebody's kid. LeBron James, that's who it was. LeBron James, one of LeBron James's kids made him a costume. Like the fun stuff. I do like Halloween costumes so much more though, because they're just, you can play with them. So anyway, but yeah, I don't have a quote unquote day job. My day job is basically a hustle.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kitty?
Well, because of I kind of lost my day job, but
Okay.
I used to be a stylist that worked in the photography studios for Amazon and Apple.
Nice.
A really fun job, very hands-on. So all the pictures of cool stuff you see on Apple for your iPhones, from like 2013 up to about 2020. I worked on a lot of those and made sure they looked pretty and flawless so people wanted to buy them.
Awesome.
And,
And we've bought a lot of products, right?
Right.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And then for Amazon, I did the same thing, but this was a cool part. I worked in the furniture warehouse studio, photography studio. So I'm part of the, team that basically, if you saw a cool piece of furniture on Amazon, I probably took that picture.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And the fun thing is that I got to take furniture home.
Oh, that's
Well,
awesome.
so I have a lot of like cosplay looking furniture. I got like a French girl couch. I got like this cool gothic chair I always use and sit on. I wish I had a match it because I could have brought some
Display it all,
stuff
just
home.
put it all out there.
But other than that, whenever I get a job, I do cosplay professionally. I've traveled around the world, and like I said earlier, to Japan. Working with S&K and especially Red Bull too, because they have their whole Red Bull esports section. So when I'm not doing that stuff currently now, I'm focused more on getting back into the cosplay scene and doing more professional work. So the next thing I have is Red Bull Kumite in Las Vegas, which is a Street Fighter V fighting game event. So I'll be debuting one of their newest characters they want me to make for that event. Just
Awesome.
hanging out with people.
Well, you heard where Kitty's up next, so Jackie, as you're drinking water, where are you up next?
Sorry. The next convention I have, so funny, the minute conventions start opening up, it's like, oh, okay, there's one after the other, and after the other, and after the other. Like 2 weeks ago, I was at a Silicon, and now I'm here. And then another 2 weeks, I have Unicon, which is Las Vegas. And then, of course, I have San Diego Comic-Con, and what's the other one? LA Comic-Con. And I think that's it for the rest of the year.
Okay.
I don't know. People tell me come here, and I go.
So what costumes are we working on right now? What can we expect to see from both of you?
Okay, well, I made Mirko for this event, and I'm going to play with her a lot more. I have a good friend of mine who's been in some fan-made action movies. She's going to be my Hawks. So you're going to see a lot of Mirko and Hawks humorous photos coming up soon.
Nice.
But I unfortunately cannot tell you it's NDA on the latest Street Fighter character. So I'm so sorry about that.
We're going to be looking forward to it though,
It's
right?
really cool though, and obviously you can tell I like glowy stuff, so my props will definitely be glowing to add to that character's move list and special power they fight with.
Nice, intriguing.
Okay, I don't know if anybody follows my Instagram or anything like when they do, but I know you do because I follow you. I stalk you all the time. You smell pretty when you're awake. So I decided, in a very impromptu and insanely sadistic way, decided to make Ariel for this convention. I decided this yesterday morning, 1 in the morning. I was like, I'm gonna be Ariel. So technically, I finished her at 7 o'clock last night, right before I drove up here. So I got her done in like 13 hours. Actually, technically 18, but I also had sleep, so 13 hours. But yeah, so Ariel is what I've worked on, and I just need to attach the little poof sleeves because it's the pink dress, that one.
And we get to see that one tomorrow.
You get to see that one tomorrow, the whole shebang. I really can't wait for that kids cosplay contest.
And you are still working on it here?
Technically, yes.
Typical cosplayer story. I'm here at the hotel and I'm still working on it.
That is so.
Cosplay
That it's
Right?
not a real cosplay unless it's finished in a hotel room with your blood, sweat, and tears soaked in it. The next costume that I'm working on is Samus from Metroid Prime 2.
Nice.
I'm doing the various suit, a lot of resin cast things, a lot of fun electronics, and that one I'm trying to finish up before San Diego Comic-Con, I just finished Lisa from Genshin Impact. I'm also working on a couple other characters from Genshin Impact because I'm a little obsessed. That's all right. And I'm working on a couple new Zelda costumes. So
Her Zeldas are amazing. If you haven't seen them, look them up.
thank you.
They're amazing. So now let's get to the dirty. What is our worst cosplay? Destruction, did not go right, complete failure. You hide it underneath the bed. It may never see the light of day. What is it?
This just happened to me.
All right.
I know, I was heartbroken. So a lot of people don't know this about me. I have a small plot of land in my backyard, which is a butterfly sanctuary. It's a full covered sanctuary, and I help raise butterflies for the monarch population because they're very important to us, especially here in California, and they're dying off. So I've been doing this for a few years, and there was one butterfly in June that his wing was vented inwards and he couldn't fly. And you can see him on like my TikTok, you can see on my Instagram page. His name is Jonathan because my butterfly sanctuary is called Jolene's Butterfly Sanctuary. I'm a big JoJo's fan. So I name all my butterflies after JoJo's. So Jonathan ended up being my pet for a month and a half, which was way further than his natural living span. And what I wanted to do before he passed away is I wanted to cosplay with him. So I would do a Jolene Cujo cosplay.
Oh, that's
and
amazing.
I have him crawling all over me and stuff during pictures. He's on my hand, he's on my shirt. Well, unfortunately, that shirt accidentally ended up in the washing machine, and it's a hand wash item only, like a lot of cosplays are, and it got demolished. It is in shreds. It got all jacked up. It was very, very delicate because it had a lot of different, hand sewn on buckles and things like that. But like all the paint came off of those and the trim. It was very fragile, and I did it in like a few hours because I knew Jonathan wasn't going to live too much longer. So I kind of, built this cosplay in like 4 hours, and then just took pictures in one of my empty rooms at my place, which I like to call the cosplay studio. But unfortunately, and Jonathan did pass away like a month and a half ago, but he lived a wonderful life. This butterfly went to Vegas with me.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I had him on me. I took him to the Bellagio Gardens. He would be on me in my hand, walking around. People would be tripping out all the time. He made friends. He made friends with a bartender there. Like, I have all these funny pictures of him just out and about with us in Vegas.
It is not the typical life of a butterfly.
No, it isn't.
I know a lot of butterflies. That is not a typical life of a butterfly.
So, no, he was his own star. He went on my Starbucks runs every morning with me. Like, all my baristas loved it. They ate it up. So it was good times. He had a great life.
That was incredible.
But I'm really happy that I got these photos with him. Even though my Jolene shirt is destroyed right now, it only gives me more motivation to rebuild it and, for Jonathan.
Exactly.
It's
For Jonathan, right?
It's for Jonathan.
All right, Jackie, I know you've got a good fail. What is it?
Oh, this sucks. Because it was also kind of recent, and it was my first big, like I've done electronics for a lot of my costumes in the past. This was my first really, 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 really big one. It was Anastasia, and it's the Once Upon a December scene dress. And that dress is very magical, so I decided I'm going to sew in 3,000 LEDs into the gown. It was definitely, I would say that one was probably my most expensive project ever. I worked on it for about 3 months, and which, by the way, is a lot of time for me, because I get things done very, very quickly. It's kind of like I have to. But for that one, it looked great. The problem was well, the thing about a lot of LEDs when they're attached to a very, 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 very thin wire, which is what I needed for the gown, so that way the gown can be still flowy and swooshy, they can be very, very finicky, and so it kept shorting. and you would just occasionally see my gown go boop, 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 just like in and out. And I'm like, don't do that, please, you're embarrassing me. My bodice completely went out. It shorted right at the power source, which was like all tucked into my back. And so I had a glowy bottom half of me and then nothing on top. Highly upsetting. And it's funny because it wasn't like destroyed in the sense of like, oh, I put it in the wash, or you know, I fell down some stairs and it got stained. It was a massive fail on my end for doing that. Like it really upsetted me, because also the way I constructed it wasn't like, oh, I can just make a few simple repairs. Like, no, I genuinely effed it up internally. So I pretty much had to throw away most of that costume.
Oh no.
It was heartbreaking. It was so sad. I was so sad. There's only one photo that I have of it on my Instagram, and it's the only proof I have that I even made it. But it's like, oh, I want to really redo it again. But also, that was a bit traumatizing to throw away a big, expensive costume.
Well, with both of you guys being professional cosplayers, you probably get to live out each one of your dreams whenever it comes up, and I'm sure it changes each time you make a costume. So what is your pinnacle, what is your dream cosplay that you hope to do or that you still haven't reached yet?
You want to go first?
Oh, I have a list. I guess, well, Samus is one of them. Angelus is another. That's from a comic book. That's for the animatronic wings too. Like, I literally studied my butt off. Oh, that's a pretty crown. Sorry, he's looking at a crown and I love crowns. Sorry, off topic. Angelus, Samus, that's probably it, because I've done like all the Zelda costumes that have been massive dreams of mine. I've already done. Well, I do want to do the royal gown from Breath of the Wild, because I haven't done that one yet. But yeah, you know, we've got our lists, but those two are definitely huge. But yeah.
Nice.
There's one I've been putting off for years. I mean, cosplaying for 20 years, the bucket list just keeps growing.
It never really truly gets shorter.
It never stops. And then, you know, newer animes are coming out, newer video games. You want to do more and more characters. You know, it's tough. It's tough. But for me, there are two that I really haven't gotten to do yet that I've been wanting to. The problem is, like, all said and done, it would probably cost me $5,000 to hammer out on my own. In Japan, they have they have a bunch of different niche cosplay conventions. And as you know, they love building, you know, real life giant Gundams, because that's the thing right now. And they have a Gunpla Gundam convention where everyone just has these gorgeous, huge, detailed Gundam, you know, they all fabricate them themselves. They have all these big Gundam cosplays.
And bigger's better.
And one of my, with a lot of people, they do think that way. And I'm thinking, I'm like, dude, I know my friends in Japan, they have teeny tiny apartments. How are they getting these huge freaking Gundam mechs in there and shipping them over? So, like, not only shipping is going to be evil.
Right.
Absolutely evil if I get this done. But I am a huge Gundam fan. I love Death Side Hell Custom. And my dream for like the last 20 years is to do a huge, fully glowing, functioning lights, the sound, movable wings, you know, the sight and everything, just over the top Death Side Hell Custom. And have me in it. As like a female version of Death Side Hell Custom with a whole robotic face paint, makeup, you know, all the trends.
That's gorgeous.
So,
that will be gorgeous. I love that.
It'll also be like $5,000. So it's just like, do I put a turbo engine in my RX-7 or do I make a cosplay? And it's just, you know, I got too many hobbies. Like, cosplay is already expensive enough. And you like do any other hobby besides that, it's
like drugs is cheaper, by the way. Like,
seriously,
yeah, it really is.
I could have had like a fully functioning like initial D RX-7 by now if I just sit down with the cosplay for at least like a few years maybe. But that's the fun of it too. You have all these goals, you have all these projects, and I will tell you this, never give up on your cosplay dreams. Because one of my cosplay dreams was to actually work for one of my favorite video game companies and go cosplay in Japan, and look what happened last year. It actually happened. And thanks to that video game company, that's one of their characters actually like started off my whole cosplay career in the early 2000s. I debuted it at Comic-Con 2001, did a fight skit with my boyfriend at the time. Didn't even know what the word cosplay was. People were running up to me going, "Oh, what's your cosplay name? Are you a cosplayer?" I'm like, what? I'm just a fan. I just, love dressing up. And that was way back in the day when it was all,
Well, back then we only had like LiveJournal to like send smoke signals.
Seriously, you had a handful of forums. You had like AC Paradise and you had LiveJournal.
Yeah, cosplay.com.
Yeah, that's about it. So that's actually one of the sponsored cosplayers for Cosplay. Yeah, moderator. Yeah, they actually flew me out in 2002 for a New York Anime Expo. That was a fun convention. I am so sad, like it took forever to get back, but that was actually a great New York AX was so much fun. And I had a darn good time back then. So it was really neat. But yeah.
Okay, so we've got a few minutes left, so before we turn it over to the audience for any questions, so start thinking of them, because you don't want to break anybody's heart not asking questions, because we got questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
We do, good. Do we have any tip for anybody that's being a cosplayer, any secret thing, any special glue to be using, anything that's just a secret tip that not a lot of cosplay beginners will know about, something that's been life-saving for you?
Probably one, have good shoes. You will be surprised how long you can endure wearing a very uncomfortable costume when you have good shoes, like comfortable shoes. Like you would know this, like back in the day, we didn't always have those comfortable shoes.
No, we did not.
We would have to, and we never had the kind of comfortable shoes that were acceptable like now or whatever. We had like a hard plastic vinyl, like if it came close to what we needed, there were very, very few outlets that we could go to. Now there's like so many and it's great. But yeah, like footwear is extremely, extremely important. I usually judge what costume I'm going to wear at a convention almost entirely on the footwear, because yeah, if I'm going to be out in the heat and I have nubs for feet because I'm wearing the wrong kind of shoes, I'm not going to be in that costume long, so it's going to affect my photos and everything else. Like there are like lots of the other things that I can deal with. Like I'm wearing, like right now I'm wearing a cincher, a bunny suit, and it's holding my whole COVID weight in, and it's doing a great job. And yes, I'm uncomfortable, but I can tolerate it. I can go through it because I'm not wearing 6-inch stiletto heels in my outfit. So very, very important. So cosplay comfort, just keep that in mind.
That is a good one. Yeah, you just gave me flashbacks of being in like stiletto heels and walking for 20 miles around San Diego Comic-Con, like in the early 2000s.
Because
What were we thinking?
They were Halloween. Let's just say this. They were Halloween shoes. The garbage shoes that only need to last like one day. That's what we had.
Yep, the ones that melt when you cross the street in Vegas.
Well, yeah, they
Or
did.
the heel pops off, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, those are terrible. But for me, all you newcomers, let's see. One of my favorite things to do, and this is very, very important. When you're at a convention and you're going to be in cosplay the entire day and night running around, just do a little bit of light stretching. I'm not saying you gotta go hit the gym. I'm not saying you gotta do like yoga. Just when you wake up and you know you're gonna be in stuff or heels all day, you wanna stretch your calves. You don't wanna get a Charlie horse. You don't wanna get a muscle cramp. Stretch your arms. It'll help you when you're posing, especially if you're a JoJo cosplayer.
Oh.
Like if you just do some light stretches, you will feel so much better throughout the day, and it really helps like keep your back straight and just keep you okay and your posture okay for like the rest of the day. As a lot of people just don't realize you're pushing your body, you're exerting it so much, you're sucking in, you're standing straight, you're contorting for all these poses. You gotta stretch first. If you do that, you'll feel so much better later on.
Nice, good.
Also, also to quickly add on, take vitamin C right before convention, like a lot of it. Because
drink
con
plenty of
crud
water.
is real.
Con goo is real.
Yep, con crud, it's bad.
It will latch on to you the entire time. It never goes away completely.
All right, we do not have an audience microphone, so if you have any questions, please stand up and make sure to project when you talk. So does anybody have a question for these ladies?
Questions? Yes.
Stand up so we can hear, please.
Of all the cosplays that you've done recently, like at 2020, things like, let's say 2015 to 20, if you had to pick, I'll say two because one was not here. Two that you were like, oh my god, this is a lifetime achievement so far, what would you choose?
For me, it's the one that I built for Evo Japan, which is a full armor costume. She's a French girl, she's a fencer. Her name is Charlotte. She's from a game called Samurai Showdown, and they just had a remake of it in 2019, and I would say that would have to be my number one. I don't have really a number two I can't think of right now, but okay, number two, there's another character from the same series I did, and she has a big giant saw blade sword. She's like a handy woman. She has all these detailed pouches and weapons all in her pouches and stuff, and I absolutely love that cosplay too. So that would be Charlotte from Samurai Showdown and Darlie Dagger from Samurai Showdown for me.
Between 2015 to 2019 specifically? Oh, okay. If it wasn't 2015 specifically, like if it was much earlier, probably Twilight Princess Zelda. Nintendo got me on board to do like all their E3 shows and all their GDC conferences and all that fun stuff. It was a major costume that I actually redid 2 years ago. And I'm extraordinarily proud of that one. Let's see, another one would probably be, let's see, I do love my Red Sonja, because
I love Red Sonja too.
First time I ever made, I've made chainmail before, but the first time I ever made scale mail was with Red Sonja. And so that was kind of like a learning, like pat yourself on the back, and I'm like, I love scale mail, but oh my god, does it take forever? So yeah, I don't know. For me, like I get more joy in the building than the presentation of it. Like I know there are some, and it's okay to be excited about, you know, in a con and like love that more than the build, because I can understand the frustration with building a costume. But I love making costumes. That's what I love more. So. You're welcome. Thank you.
We have time for a couple more questions. Does anybody have anything else?
When you first started
Nope. We're from an old age.
We're from the, like, pretty much I call it the golden age of cosplay.
Yeah.
Back then, you just loved to do it because you were a fan. There was no social media outlets. It was just, if you were popular back then, you did that through being on stage at the masquerade, winning multiple awards at different conventions you competed in. Photographers always took pictures, so they would see you on like one or two places online all the time, and that was pretty much it. And you know, I didn't even know the word cosplay; it was just for fun. I'm a huge fan of, you know, certain fighting games and anime, so I just did it for fun. But like I was saying earlier, it opens so many doors of opportunity to do modeling, to do, you know, be in films, TV commercials, TV show pilots. Like, if you love your hobby, if your heart and if your passion is in what you cosplay and what you do, trust me, it might take a while, because especially in this day and age, it's so saturated now, but people will notice and recognize your talent. Don't let popularity numbers fool you, things like that. I know a lot of people don't make their stuff, they commission it or they buy it off Amazon. And honestly, people will definitely see your talents. You're proud of it, you put your hard work into it, you are going to shine in that cosplay. People are going to notice. So I would like to tell you guys, if if you want to cosplay, do it because you love it. Do it because you love that character, not because they're trendy. Do it like that. It's gonna make you happy, and as long as that makes you happy, whatever you're cosplaying, just like go for it. And I know not everybody is a seamstress or is good at making stuff. Hey, just cosplay for fun. You never know. You might run into people that'll teach you certain things, or you might learn some stuff down the line. So it's a wonderful hobby. It's a very great community, as long as, you know, just keep your mind open and listen to other people's advices, and you'll definitely enjoy yourself. I haven't stopped because of that.
Yeah.
I love the hobby too much. I love creating, and I want to just continue creating. You know, when people come up to me and my costume puts a smile on their face, if I can really, you know, look like the character, act like him, and actually bring the character to life in some way, shape, or form, that's what makes me happy. So if you guys are gonna cosplay, just, you know, keep doing it, go on your grind, and just, as long as your heart's in it, trust me, you're gonna have such a good time. Like, a lot of my friends I've made, I've still kept for over 20 years, and they're all the friends I made in cosplay. They have kids now, we go to everybody's weddings, you know, they get to play Auntie Kitty and buy them all these cute things to wear for future conventions. It's great. You've literally made like your own friend circle and your own friends and family circle through cosplay. So it's a really awesome hobby, and I just say keep at it and just do what you really want to do.
I mean, it's also important to know that if you do what you're, like, if you have the passion behind it, you're putting yourself through a lot of pain, no matter what. I'm just going to tell you this, cosplay, there's pain that goes with it no matter what. So if you're going to physically or mentally or emotionally put yourself through that kind of suffering, it's got to be for something that you love. If it's for something that you don't care about, or you just think, oh, this is trending, this is cute, it's not going to last. I did it once ever, won't do it again. I can only pick characters that I love to do, because, you know, when you put yourself through that kind of torture, it's just, you see it in your photos, you see it in your own attitude and your own behavior, and it's like, you're not having fun, so why do it? And the thing about cosplaying professionally, specifically professionally cosplaying, just to get there, like, if you like, and it's okay, by the way, don't let anybody shame you for wanting to be a professional cosplayer, because back in our day, that was really frowned upon. Remember Francesca Donnie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she had her own website, and people hated her.
Yeah, there was no such thing as cosplay guests.
Nope.
If somebody was a cosplay guest, everyone just looked down on them like, oh, they are so into themselves. Oh, how narcissistic can you be? This is a community hobby. Why would you try to capitalize on it?
Yeah.
Boy, in the last 10 plus years have things changed.
Oh, big time.
I could talk forever about how it used to be.
Oh,
And
yeah.
This is what I tell people. Back in the golden age of cosplay, it's kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean. There weren't really rules, but there were guidelines.
Yeah.
And everybody kind of just
Could be
honored those
sexy
guidelines. Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
So-
Remember when, what's her name, did Felicia, and it just broke the internet, and like, cause she had fur, just like, you know, for underwear. I remember people gave me crap for wearing D-Lip from Record of Lotus wore. She had a very high slit, and I'd be like checking on 4chan, and people would just be like, oh, look at that. Just like, what? Just a high cut slit, that's all.
It's really funny because everybody would say I do like overly sexy cosplay in the early 2000s. It wasn't. I was just accurate to the character and how they looked. And, you know, and I got criticized for that. It was very different. It was very much more conservative in the early 2000s.
Definitely a different time now.
I mean, it is. It's great now because back then, you guys, you could not find red contacts to save your life.
No, you couldn't.
You
Unless
had
you
to
cut your eye.
like, you know, make an oath with some demon from an anime in order to get red contacts. Or they costed like $1,500 if you went to a special effects Hollywood place and they custom made it for you. A wig this long back then would cost easily 100 plus, 80 to 100. If I wanted something accurate all the way down to my ankles, it was like a $400 wig. My Final Fantasy VII Tifa wig was like $300. That's nuts.
Man,
But
we
now
should
you
have
make like
paneled like
5
the golden
cosplays
age.
with that, you know?
So the moral of the story is it's a different time. It's a little bit cheaper. But we're gonna have to wrap this right now, guys. So we got the costume cosplay contest coming up. So if you want to see more of these ladies, they are upstairs at their tables, and they're gonna continue talking forever. But they're right next to each other up there. So go in there and go see them upstairs. Can we get a round of applause for these ladies, please?